we are here to talk about two of the behemoths of software modular synthesis. We're talking about Softube Modular and VCV Rack. I know some of you watching this already know it, right? Because you've known these pieces of software more than I have. But in this video, I'm gonna give you my opinion on which one is best and which one has the pros that the other one doesn't, and vice versa. That's actually how it's gonna be. Let's go. So I made myself the smallest I could because on this empty screen here, I just want to present you two amazing browser windows. Believe it or not, we're starting from the browser. Okay, and we're just gonna take our time to decide whether we should use VCV or Softube Modular. Okay, so I've approached, as you remember in some of the streams, Softube Modular, and I like it a lot. But I've also used VCV Rack in the past days, and I also liked it a lot. So here goes my opinion. I haven't even clicked on the cookies here, okay? So we start from the website, okay? It's not just gonna be about marketing, but I think we should kind of follow this because we're getting into it. We don't know what we wanna get. What should we do? Blah, blah, blah. Let's go. So I'm gonna disagree and close just to piss probably Softube off. And then we're gonna go to their plugins, right? So I'm gonna navigate through, we're gonna navigate through these together. And we're gonna get to their synthesizers line. And in this synthesizers line, there's modular exclusive or modular ready, okay? So what do we do? I'm gonna go to modular exclusive, but just so you know, some of the products that Softube makes are also going to spill over your Softube Modular instance. So you do have to buy Modular, which we're gonna see in another tab right here. Softube Modular by itself, I think maybe it's in the synthesizers page, is, let's see, right, no. Show less, show more. Is there Modular in here? No. Is Modular free maybe? Let's take a look at it. Let's venture into their search page and let's try and actually type, for whatever reason, modular. Okay, so here it is. Softube Modular by itself is 89 euros. Okay, so 89 euros gets you a bunch of very, very good modules. Okay, so here's the website. Oh, there's our cool Richard right here. And there's tons of modules, but this picture that you're seeing here is kind of deceiving because it's showing you everything you can put into this thing. It's not showing you what you actually have from the get-go. Okay, so some modules are free, others are paid for. And to pay for them, you have to go to, that's a lot of scrolling that I'm doing. You buy these and then you buy the other stuff if you want. And here it is. There's, at the bottom of their page, there's run these and more in modular. Okay, so Softube has given us a very good kind of layout of what we have available. There's a lot of stuff from Dupfer. Obviously, that's how you pronounce that. You know, you're lucky I know all languages, I guess, that at least the ones I pay taxes in, they seem to kind of understand me. So this right here is a bundle plus other stuff. And in fact, we saw modular exclusive and then we saw modular ready, right? So modular ready means that products you might have already owned, that you bought already and that you own already, have something that can be used inside modular. For example, the Model 77 will give you Module 77, you know, modules, Model 77 modules for modular, which is insanely cool. Tape Echoes, for example, which is a 99 bucks plugin and sounds really good, has like a Tape Echoes plugin module that you can install into mod, and it will actually be automatic into modular. So a lot of their products become modules as well, and in reality, in real life, you wouldn't have those. Okay, so this is a definite plus because these software pieces that Softube does are unbelievably good. For example, Heartbeat alone is a module, a series of modules that you can put into Softube. But if you don't know if you own Softube Modular, I'm completely all over the place with the names. It's not that easy. It's not as easy as you think. because it's modular, all that stuff. So if you own Heartbeat already, then you can use it in modular. That's a little bit more of an incentive to say, you know what, I'm gonna buy modular because it's only 89 bucks and I have a lot of stuff. But you're starting up, you have nothing, well, then you have to buy 139 bucks for Heartbeat, which is insanely good. I love it. You wanna buy some reverb for it, you wanna buy a very good one, you get the Tsar 1, which is 149. So if you consider getting the modular ready stuff specifically for Softube Modular, it's a ton of money, okay? I know there's sales, there's tons of possibilities to get things at a smaller price than what we see here, but it's still a lot of money. But maybe you own some already, for example, I don't know, the British Class A channels, because you have console 1 or whatever, you can bring it into modular, and that is unique to what Softube Modular does. On top of that, there's actual modules. These are Eurorack, they exist, they are in hardware, they're beautiful, they're very sought after. The brands have combined, have endorsed Softube to make their counterparts for Softube Modular, okay? So you want to buy, for example, a 259E twisted waveform generator, okay? The one you see here, that is from Buchla. And this is I think it's almost 1,500 bucks to get one oscillator in real life, okay? Pretty much, I think it's definitely over 1,000 bucks. So this one is only 99 bucks and you can open as many as you want inside Softube Modular. And if you followed me on Modular Mondays, I've done that already. It sounds off the hook, it's unbelievably good, but it's 99 bucks and it does not come with your Softube Modular. So it's it is 10 bucks more expensive than the whole basic startup format, the starter pack of Softube Modular. But you can get more intense. For example, if you want to get the 296E spectral processor, that is 149 bucks, which is about twice as much, almost, as your Softube Modular, okay? So this route is expensive for sure, and gets you to get lots of modules eventually, okay? If you own a lot of stuff already from them, that's good because that's a modular ready, that's unique to what Softube's done, but these modules don't really exist. And if you really want to get into the Eurorack stuff, well, that is not as comprehensive as some people might think, because there's tons of modules, but tons of modules means this. Okay, these are the extras that you can get. I think there's not many more, right? The Vermonas, the Buchlas, the mutable instruments, some Doepfer, or deep for the BBD thing, which is unbelievably good. The hardware, I know it's kind of, some people like it, some people hate it, but that's a extra 39 bucks. And then we got mutable instruments, the 4MS. I mean, we got Buchla, mutable, 4MS, Vermona, and obviously Doepfer, which is right there, okay? So, it's what's the word I'm looking for? They're famous brands, they're established, there's things that people want in their Eurorack kind of setups, in the hardware, okay? But if you start summing things up to get, and there's also, intelligent as well. So these are all cool. These are amazing. These are fantastic. They look really nice. They sound unbelievably good. We'll get to that part later. But it is a system in which if you save a patch and you give it to somebody like I've done, if someone doesn't have the brides that I've used in here, in a patch of mine, and I share it, which is the case, for example, the Buchlas are used in Chikai Swamps. That was like episode 2, I think, or 2, of Modular Mondays. The second episode, we ventured into some of the Buchla stuff, and we created this patch. Unless you own this, you will not be able to use it, okay? So, this is how Softube Modular is. Let's not consider the pros and cons by itself. Let's consider the way I did it. Like, you've started up. This is now your zero, okay? This is how you consider this to be your environment. Like, okay, well, I would like to get into software modular synthesis. I like this and that. I want to compose some stuff, whether it's techno, whether it's ambience, whether it's cicadas, whatever. But all right, nice. There's Softube Modular. I've heard about it. That's nice. Okay, so we've established something that is our frame of reference. Now we go to VCV. Okay, and I did these on purpose because we saw Modular by Softube a lot, earlier than we did VCV. I've been experimenting with VCV on my own. We talked about it on Discord, so on and so forth, but it's not on video, right? So I've been doing this as a side project of a side project. So we saw Softube Modular. Now we get here. I want to reverse these two. Boom. Okay. And now we get to VCV. Okay. So VCV starts as the main idea of this is to bring modular synthesis to the masses in a good way, all right? So for education, for learning, experimentation, or just making people feel aware of what modular synthesis is and how creative that can be for you and your family, I guess, whatever. And it's a more open project somehow. Like the feeling of VCV is not a product by itself, okay? They're Softube, they sell products, they care about your music, they want to make their stuff very good, and they make good stuff. But bro, they're products, okay? So they're there, want to buy stuff here. There's a certain commitment to quality that you would expect to, with any good audio brand. VCV is notches higher, okay, on that regard, because it's a sense of community. There's a sense of people, things, and you'll understand if I explain that, unless I don't, but I will. So we get to this website, pretty good. We got tons of people that are unbelievable at what they do, and trust me, you probably know them already. And there's a lot of things, all right, new modules, new things. So how does it work? Well, lo and behold, VCV, especially now, it's up to Rack 2 now. It's free. It's free. Okay, it's completely free. You get it. You don't pay for anything. It's free. You register your account. You go there and you download it. Okay, and it's free. And we'll see that. I'll show you what it can do. Now, even with the free version, which has limitations, you can go to your library, which is bound to your account, and you have three main sections: premium, free, and open source. Okay, so free and open source are kind of similar, because I think in the free versions there are gonna be a lot of the free open sources as well. I saw the filter kind of matches, so there's kind of like free but not open source. Somebody make it for free but doesn't want you to open the code and modify it. Other people say, look, here it is, it's open source. And then there's premium that you gotta pay for. Okay, but look at this right here: 3,727 modules. Okay, so in the spirit and heart of modular synthesis alone, bro, I can't say anything. This is 3,727 modules. Okay, so it is the essence of modular synthesis, because we got modules, we can experiment, we got people to try stuff. Okay, the free ones are okay. Do we want to do this? Okay, let's do this. The premium ones are 380. So you're not getting pay to win role-playing games online, okay? Massive. This is not that kind of video game. Premium, 380. Free, 3,347. Now, you might say, well, yeah, of course, but 3,347 doesn't change anything if they all sound really bad. And they sound really good, okay? Even if 10% of this sounds good, it's 334 modules out of 380 premiums, which we are thinking they will sound really good, okay, because they're premium. And the premium ones, look at the prices, okay? I know we're cooking Softube Modular, but I'm spitting facts, okay, right here. $20, 15, 20, 20, 25, 20, 149. Okay, that's a VCV compressor from Rack 2 Pro. Okay, but I'll explain what that means in a second. It doesn't mean you have to pay $149 to get this. Okay, so look at this: $10, 10, 15. Okay, there's the Pamela's Pro Workout is 20. The Busy Circuits bundle is 50 instead of 55. The prices are very low. There's nothing. There's actually the 4MS pingable envelope is $29 or 25. The IntelliGel UFO 2. They're the ones that come closer, but they're still kind of like $5 to $10 more expensive than what you can get for premium VCV. Okay, but then we switch to free, and there's 3,347, out of which the open source are 2,908. Now, whenever you see open source, the spirit's kind of getting up, right? Because you're like, okay, these people care about doing things, and they also want people to say, look, if you're more experienced than I am, you can fiddle with it, you can change it. So I'm not that kind of guy, because I break stuff if I touch it, but I just play with it. I still break it when I make music with it, but I break it and it still makes a weird sound, so that's a good thing. But, you know, you might be good at programming this, you can get the open source and change it to your liking, or there might be a module that doesn't exist and you just, you know, commit to somebody to do it, or you can do it if you know how to do it, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So this is a universe. And for modular synthesis, this is kind of like the ultimate thing that we want. The other one's kind of like a niche thing. Okay. So Softube Modular is getting cooked, especially now that I'm gonna say that if you buy the Pro version, I'm gonna go to Premium and look at that, the bundle here, okay? If you buy the Pro version, which is $149, putting you at almost twice the price of what Softube Modular in the basic form has, you get the basic modules that VCV Rack 2 has, because it starts with modules pre-installed. But with the free version, you can get to the library, download them and add them, and the installer, the actual instance of your VCV, will recognize that. We'll see that in a second, okay? So if you buy the Pro version at $149, you've got this. We got chorus, flanger, phaser, reverb, convolver, and compressor. Now, I'm gonna say a little bit of a thing here. If you try the compressor of VCV Pro, you might say, here's the $149, because this thing is good, okay, just by itself. Now, I've tried the other ones as well, the reverb, the convolver, I mean, by itself. I mean, this is a great bundle, okay, but it's still $149, which you can actually buy at a fraction of it, which we're gonna find out if you pay. If you rent it, hold on. I think you can do VCV Plus. That's the name of their subscription. That's pretty cool that they've done these walls. It's $29 a month or $19 a month if you do the full year. So now, what if you buy this one and then you try an experiment, you know, with modular synthesis, and then you don't like it? Well, both companies offer refunds, but you might say, well, you know what? I think I don't want to do it any longer. I've done a year of it. It's okay. You know, I don't want to do it. You can do a subscription, or maybe you do it monthly, whatever, you know. And I don't think, but don't quote me on that, I don't think at the moment Softube does rent to own or rentals with it. Okay, so that's obvious. You've got obvious support. You've got a lot of community here. And if you share a patch that does not use premium that needs to be bought modules, people will just go add and get it, you know, and it will sound one-to-one like the patch you're doing. So if you were an educator, it is gonna be very, very hard to keep on going exclusively on Softube Modular if you have the intent of sharing the patches you do, letting people understand why your patches sound the way they do, and maybe, like in my case, in order for them to say, I don't want them ever to sound that way, but now I know why they sound that way, and so I can kind of fix it, okay? Making fun of myself. Maybe you like the way I make sounds. I think you do. You know, there's, you know, I'm myself, you're yourself. So you see where I'm going with this one, right? You can add stuff for free, you can make incredible patches, and they're gonna be just maybe not available at the moment somebody has VCV Rack, because maybe I found an unbelievably rare, weird module that I put in my patch, but for you to download that one will not mean to buy it. It will actually mean to say, ooh, look, through his patches, through Alberto's patches, I discovered a module that I like. I don't like it the way he used it, I like the way I'm gonna use it, but look at that, cool. We're 3,727 modules in total, okay? So this is a universe. Okay. I gotta give it to you. If we ended at the websites, VCV is a lot more user-friendly, okay? So we have these, I've explained how it works. The quantity is there. They're both qualitative. In terms of quality, I'm gonna go around the problem. In terms of quality, they're both really good, but we'll explain better what it is. We haven't talked about that, okay? So, well, you have it. These are the facts, okay? It costs you absolutely nothing. However, before we start, VCV Pro, which costs $149, or the Plus, as far as I know, are the only ones that will work in VST mode, okay? So I think it is a VST3. Let's go to the store and kind of find out. VCV Rack 2, right? What's new, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if there's, okay. The DAW plugin is only available in Rack Pro. So you need to buy $149 of a product package to get VST2, 3 audio unit, and clap, okay? Clap's very, very, very important to me, I think, in this context. But for some people, maybe it doesn't matter. But here we go, VST3 and audio unit alike. So then you have instrument or effect plugin, which is important because the instrument and effect means if it's the effect version, you can run audio through it. Meaning I can get my Bass Station 2 to go into the modular in terms of audio and then process it through the modules, okay? You can have 16 audio inputs and outputs, 16 MIDI inputs and outputs, parameter automation, render offline, multiple rack instances, and you can save patches inside your DAW. This is only available in Rack Pro, so you need to have the 149, okay? While modular in itself is 89, but the number of modules that modular has is more limited than what you get in VCV Pro. But Softube Modular has a DAW endorsement, and they made those oscillators, filters, and the basic package available to you without paying for anything. So $89 is kind of nice, okay? So here we go. We're starting to offset the boat, right? We're rocking it here, rocking it there. That's how it works. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open a DAW, and we're gonna take a look at Softube Modular, okay? While the DAW is loading, I would like to take 2 seconds to say that this is all possible because of people like you who support me. Please take a look at my Patreon and consider subscribing. There's various tiers, especially if you're interested in modular synthesis, because I do Modular Mondays every week. Eventually, we're gonna do a Bandcamp album of what I've played. It's gonna be even live sets, and there's gonna be special versions for the Amiga 1200, or I should actually say, I'll pass those songs also through my Amiga 1200 and resample it, make a very weird version. We're gonna do floppy disks, tons of things. So take a look at it, and let's continue. Here we go. I'm gonna just open an empty session, not even gonna save, okay? And we're here in Nuendo. So this is as simple as that. I'm gonna open an instrument, modular, here we go, okay? We don't need to hear it, we're just venturing into the question of what does Softube Modular look like, okay? So it starts as an empty session. There's no modules, or maybe there's a preset, but you essentially have 4 rows of this that can host modular. And there's a bar here where you can add modules, move them, edit performances, and then you've got your main outputs, your volume, output level, and the auxiliary outs, okay? So, as we said, if you buy VCV Rack Pro, you get 16 outs. Here, you've got 8 plus the mains. You have ways to offset these. You can even send DC or whatever, CV out through the AUXes, which will control even real hardware or further instances of modular, so all is possible. Please keep these on, however, if you're not planning to send DC over your aux, because that will destroy things in the real world, okay? So this is my startup preset. We've got DAW sync, we've got MIDI to CV, we've got MIDI to trigger. I've loaded these modules, and you see these are all original Doppler, and they have all the branding that needs to be. Like, this is one-to-one what they need to be. You right click on the rack, or you actually double click here, or you go to add, and you see the list of modules. And as you can see here, I have everything, okay? Pretty much. I don't think I have everything, but I probably have everything. So there's Doppler, IntelliGel, there's 4MS, there's Buchla, there's Mutal Instruments, there's Vermona, and then there's the other stuff. Overstayer, Motor 72, 84, there's the Fix bundle, there's Parallels, there's Monument Bass, Statement Lead, Softube Effects bundles also spill into modular, British Class A, Tube Tech, Heartbeat, the Rolly stuff, which is amazingly cool, which interfaces with the Rise, and then Effects, DAW and MIDI interfacing, obviously mixing, sequencers, utility, performance, and then, performances that also spill into this style of the Model 72 and whatever Rolandish Softube head, okay? So performance modules are just giving you controls that you can link to other stuff in order for you to just move a knob and have various things be done and automated without getting to 3 gazillion knobs and touch them at the same time, because it's kind of hard to do with 2 hands. So here's the module. I mean, you want a Buchla, you place it, you go add, you place it, you drag it, you cannot drag things around. And people say, well, in a Eurorack, you have to kind of unscrew things. So this is more convenient than the real thing. Yes, that's true. You go move delete, and you can delete things if you want, or you can move them around. And sometimes when you need to move a module around here, say I want to move my audio mixer here, it will not do it. I have to make room for it. Then I have to go here, and then I have to close audio, and then keep going. The cables are what they look like. You can move them by dragging. You can create multiple things going out to other stuff. For example, this in only supports one out, but if I have, I don't know, for example, different outputs can go to multiple inputs, like this. Colors change, as you can see. They're always kind of routed in a specific way. There's orange. So depending on the category of what you are sending from to, you'll get colors that vary, because there's modulations, there's CV, there's clocks, there's other stuff, right? So they all get their color labeling, and it makes sense. The cables disappear unless you hover over a socket or plug or jack or whatever you want to call this stuff, and then you'll be able to see them without having other things bother you, because the relevant cables will become 100% opacity, the other ones will be like 30%. So you still see where things are going, but not being completely overwhelmed. Also, it guides you because it turns on, it colors in red all of the inputs that can be accepted by an output, or vice versa. It shows you in green the inputs that accept the output you're dragging, okay? So you can go backwards, it's no problem. It is cumbersome to move things around, but it's not like, painful, okay? And it works. Problem is, we're not even listening to this stuff because, it's kind of like a big picture comparison. The modules sound off the hook good, okay? Like, unbelievably good. If you've tried software synthesizers and you're thinking, well, software synths are software synths, the hardware's the hardware, I'm 100% with you. Like 100%. But if you try this and you spend some time tinkering with synthesis this way, even if you build the most known to you subtractive synth, say 3 oscillators, one of which can be a low LFO, a mixer going into a filter, added noise and external source, 2 envelopes, and whatever output, and I kind of know the synth I'm thinking about and referring to, it will sound unbelievable. Even with the basic $89 Doppler modules that you're given, they sound off the hook good. Softube did not just, they weren't lazy in doing their stuff, and they didn't do it for the sponsoring. They really wanted this to sound good, and I'm telling you, it does sound good. Go look at the previous episodes that you can find on Modular Mondays. You'll notice these are unbelievable. Okay? So kudos to that. Problem is CPU usage. So one instance of Softube Modular, as far as I know, I've tried everything I could, does not do multi-core. Okay, so one instance of Modular in VST3 format will get one core to as much load as possible right here. Okay, so when we're doing this, and you can see that I have 8 cores from 0 to 7, once one core is maxed out, you'll get glitches. So what you need to do is to obviously load more instances, but then you get more loading of the other cores. You offload this, but it's a single core piece of work. Okay, and when you start adding modules, I guarantee you that getting a very, very busy system, at least on my 97K computer with 64 gigabytes of RAM, blah blah blah, is not really. Do I have 64 or do I have 32? I think I have 32. I'm now thinking. Yeah, I have 32. Why did I say 64? So my 32 gigabytes of RAM and these 97K 5-year-old computer, I mean, it works amazingly and we can do that, but I usually have to go with higher buffer sizes, like 20, 48. So if you're playing real time and you're sending real-time messages to it, latency will be involved. So as long as you stay inside of that, it might be fine. But if you're interacting with it in real time and you're moving tons of knobs in real time, you'll feel that there's kind of a lag to it. But that is because the sound is off the hook. So consider this. They're obviously important factors. Okay. Now, VCV, I'm going to show you in the basic form, is actually not a VST3, we said. It's standalone. Okay, and this is the version that I've opened and works here. You cannot put it in VST3 mode because, as I said, this is not how it works. You need to buy the Pro version, but it will look like this. Okay, so this is just a patch that I opened because it recalls how it works. And as you can see, I've loaded some visualizers and there's other things going around. We've got names right here. Just to tell you one thing, there's this XFX reverb by Blamsoft that is one of my absolute favorite reverbs that you might not even know. It's got the sound I was looking for some specific types of just atmospheres, and it's just beautiful. It's just one of the reverbs. Then there's the Erica Fusion, the Fusion Delay, Flanger, Vintage Ensemble. Everything you see here are free modules, okay? So look at the cables themselves, the way you drag them. It is a little bit more refined. It feels a lot cooler to use, okay? And I'm gonna show what I mean by that. Look at the preferences we have, okay? So we've got the usual import, open, save, okay? Nothing too fancy about it. Then we go to view and we've got full screen. We can select the frame rate. We have the UI scale. We can zoom to feed modules. The mouse wheel will zoom on stuff. You can select the themes. You can show tooltips, the cable opacity, as you can see, the cable tension, right? I mean, okay, I won't say anything. You know what I think about that though. I mean, it's adding so much. You want to get the room brightness down, you can get the room brightness down and just take a look at the light bloom, for example, right here. See? We can have tons of different situations going on. The cable colors can be customized. It will rotate them if you want, but there's also labels that you can use specifically. For example, I used gray for main. You can lock cursors while dragging. Knob modes are linear or absolute rotary or relative rotary. It just, we're getting fine tuning. There's a mouse wheel sensitivity as well. I mean, smart rearrangement. You can lock positions. Use dark panels if available. Okay, it will switch visually. They sound the same, but they're dark. Then we go to engine. There's performance meters if you want to see which kind of performance usage the modules are getting. And I'll be honest with you, this patch is bonkers. It's really good, but it doesn't consume a lot of CPU cycles. So the improvements here on the engine There I'm playing at 48 kilohertz. You can select the threads. I'm on 1. You can get up to 8 cores. You can go, as much as you want, but you need to have the cores obviously available. And then there's the library. Once you open this library tab, it will query for updates, and it will understand if you downloaded a module that you don't have. And you'll download it here, restart, and then you'll get to use it, obviously. You want to drag stuff around, just click and drag it. You want to erase stuff, just hover your mouse on it and erase stuff, You made a mistake you want to undo, just like we did for the Softube, we can do it. You undo it, no problem, okay? You want to utilize a specific cable color, you can do it. You want to create just a cable on top randomly, that's okay. But for example, if I want to have a cable that I want to call audio signals or clock, that is yellow to me, clock is yellow, that's how it is. I go for yellow, and then I have this, and I just move it around and drag it. It will take 2 milliseconds more, but it will be a yellow cable. If I made a mistake and I want to make something great, I just select it and I set the color for this, and I can set colors once the patch is done, and colors help me a lot, okay? You want to get into zooming in, we can go up and down, we can zoom out, look at how big this is, or we just go F4 and we'll get all the modules in view as much as we can in terms of zoom. But then do we want to zoom on, this module here? You right click it and you go zoom to fit, which is also Control F4, and they're as big as we want. We're done editing this, we go F4, we're back to it, okay? So workflow here is off the hook. Beautiful. It's just fantastic. Okay. I go, for example, right click here and I have modules I've downloaded. What you see below, starting from the VCFs, are standard. So you get all of these stuff for free automatically. The other ones are completely free, but you gotta add them from the library, which is cool. You can also remove them from library if you don't want to use them. Okay, so for example, I got this 4MS, this one right here, the topographic delay. I can drag it around. Say I want to put it right next to the Erica Fusion. I will just put it here and it just moves them around quickly. Okay, the colors, the LEDs are showing me the pulsating values of things. There's a lot more visual reference in the ADSRs, in the VCAs. Just in general, as you can see, there's a lot more to hook on. The cables look absolutely fantastic. It's super smooth and it snaps as soon as you get to those. Just like in Softube Modular, it gets really fast really soon. UI wise, this one wins by all means, in my opinion, because it's just more convenient. On top, I don't even want to mention that there are free things that we're using. It's just like how fast it is while you're in the inspiration. And you might be saying, I like to take my time. Yes, but it is my belief, at least for me, I'm talking about myself, that if I am experimenting with things in a modular, the faster I can get these, it's hard to argue with that, right? The faster I can get these to work, the better. If it doesn't work, go away. Like if I literally hover over a module, as I said, and I press delete, it will just go away, and I can still undo stuff. What else is there, right? If you couple these all together with the attitude, the vibe, the creed of VCV, it's hard to get. So it looks to me as if this VCV environment could be the more user-friendly to all of you. I'm gonna say one thing and then it's gonna be very hard to beat it. It's free. It's 100% free. So you wanna fiddle with it, you can get to have sound out of your audio card for free. You get 3,000 and change modules, out of which over 2,800, whatever, I forgot the number, are free or even open source, and the majority of which are open source. And then you got some premiums that are like 10, 15 bucks, so on and so forth, that you can obviously open multiple instances of. Then you've got the pro version if you want to use it in VST3, 2, audio unit, or clap. And then, you get the 6, whatever, 8, I forgot as well, premium modules, which are off the hook good. But then you get offline rendering, you get all the functions that you would get from Softube Modular. Ultimately, I don't want to say which one is right for you, but I want to state that these are absolutely different. They're the same purpose at the end, but their mentality is completely different. And the way they approach modular synthesis to you is completely different, okay? So there are amazing uses for both, and they both excel at what they do, despite having a ton of overlap. Whether one surpasses the other is going to be up to you. There will be no way for me to say which one is better for you, but the talking points that I made are just facts, okay? They're facts. So as usual, my video ends here, but it doesn't really end here. Check out what I do, the links are down below. Consider supporting this project because nothing has ever happened that is this cool, and I want you on board, all right? See you soon. Ciao.